All right, here we go, episode 2. This one's going to be titled for me, I don't know, maybe like building a business is harder than I thought, or nobody tells you this about starting a business. I don't know. So, anyways, here's some things that I realized this week. I'm technically on like week 2 of opening. I opened on a Wednesday, then I had that couple days, and then the next following week, and then I'm on that. I just ended the second full week, right? So I'm going to kind of talk about the last 2 weeks in general, but I think I'll spend the majority talking about this last week because starting on a Wednesday, the first 3 days were basically nothing. It was basically just doing more of what I've been doing for the last couple weeks. It was like getting marketing in place, talking to the right vendors, making sure I was in the right position with marketing to get touch points out to customers and zip codes and cities and places that I needed to be in this Phoenix market. And luckily, if you pick a good franchise, then they will help you with that. They are the partners that have done this over and over and over again, and they have very direct marketing strategies that they've seen be successful. And so that was my goal. Well, it actually wasn't, but it was one of the things that I kind of focused on, is because I wasn't getting leads. My phone wasn't ringing the first week, and so I knew that I had to like figure out and dial in these different marketing strategies. And so that's what I kind of decided to do. I did some like guerrilla marketing on my own, where I sent out emails to groups of folks who had been customers of the previous franchisee who was in, he actually wasn't in our territory, but in the surrounding metropolitan area. I'm in Scottsdale. I don't know if I've said this, but it's like Window Genie is my franchise. We're a neighborly company. And my territory is Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Arcadia, North Scottsdale. Kind of if you're looking at a map, like this big square around Scottsdale. But there was a franchisee here, closed up shop about 5 years ago. So some of these customers I was reaching out to, their last job or point of contact from the previous Window Genie was 10 years ago, but at least I have a list. And so I sent out emails to his previous customer list, just kind of reintroducing myself, and I actually got a pretty good response rate on those. But anyways, I spent that last week just ensuring that our vendor partners, Local IQ, Ignite Visibility, Angie Lift, my Google Business Profile, they're all up to date, and I checking the boxes to ensure that those meeting the standards that comes within what is the world of the internet can find those marketing platforms, and I can leverage how the franchise know that they work and then input the information for me to show up on somebody's Google search when they search for a window cleaner in Scottsdale. And so, my phone wasn't ringing. I wasn't getting any jobs. So I had to get a little creative. I wanted to ensure my marketing strategies were rock solid and that I was compliant and following instructions of the vendor and the franchisor. And then I also did a little bit on my own, sending out mass emails. I sent out some handwritten letters as well. So that's kind of what I spent those first days on. I also had to hire. Hiring for me was crazy. I started on a Wednesday, so I asked somebody to show up on a Wednesday. They no call, no showed. Classic. So then I spent Thursday trying to find somebody else. They didn't show up. And then on Friday, I hosted a group interview of like 5 guys. I hired 2 of them. They're awesome. That following Monday, we started technical training, so they showed up. We got them going. I have our technical trainer who actually lives here in Scottsdale. It's really nice. come and they learn to, some of the basics. We went over a lot of safety training, a lot of tutorials on Monday, and then the next few days they were out in the field. We were cleaning my house, we were cleaning his house, we were cleaning friends' houses, just to get them familiar with the equipment and how to use it. And then the next week I tried to line up some jobs. So friends, family, like just let us come over and clean your windows or power wash your driveway, or we spent the day here at my house learning how to tint windows. All these services that we use and know, so my guys can become proficient and basically get the basic understanding of it, taught by our technical trainer. And then we kind of got into it. Like after technical training week, it was basically like, let's try to figure out how to get some business. And so that's kind of where I am now. And I spent last week doing all those marketing things, making sure that we are aligned with the expectations. And the phone's not ringing. If you have this grand idea that you're going to open a business and then from day one, your lead list is going to be full and the phone's not going to stop ringing, you got incredibly lucky, or you have some incredible touch. I think building a residential customer base takes time. I'm in an extremely competitive market, and it's monsoon season here, so when I do get business, generally they want me to come in 2 months. And so that's kind of how I have spent my time thinking about the business in the last couple days. However, this week has been super productive from at least like a lead gen standpoint, I should say. So this week I probably booked 5 to 6 jobs, which out of booking 2 jobs the week before feels busy. Those jobs are for a little ways out, month and a half or a month. I think we have at least one or 2 in August, just as residential jobs. But it is going to be extremely helpful for me is networking. And I want to get into that a little later, but I joined my BNI group. I joined the Chamber of Commerce. I'm working some of the connections that friends and mentors have had for me here. But that's going to become extremely important. I'll kind of talk about like what that looks like as we go. Where is the business today is kind of the next part that I want to touch on. I mean, our office is a storage unit. I'm working from home. Currently, I don't have Wi-Fi here. It's ridiculous, but I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm just like doing a personal hotspot through my phone. We have one van. It's being wrapped right now. We have equipment. Genie franchisee who was shutting his location down in Oklahoma City. So I got everything from him. I'd say I got 85% of everything I could need from him. In general, the franchisor says that could cost anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 on just equipment alone. Obviously, the vehicle is a big part of that, whether you purchase it or lease it or whatever. But throwing that in there, I got it all for $26,000. And that's probably spent another $2 or $3 grand on equipment that he just didn't have for me. And so that's kind of where I stand. I mean, we're working out of a storage unit. This isn't glamorous, guys. This isn't glamorous at all. But we have everything we need there, at least for now. Our calendar and our schedule, I'm basically right now doing a lot of grassroots marketing. I have to go out and work connections. I walked up to a construction site today and just asked for the superintendent. Luckily, the guy I asked was like, yeah, it's me. And I talked to him about post-construction commercial cleaning, exterior and interior on the windows, as well as power washing, things like that. I'm finding that commercial is going to be extremely valuable for me to network and build connections and get business during what I think is now is going to be our slow time historically, and in the future. Does that make sense? So building commercial business is super important to me right now. So that's kind of things I'm doing on a daily basis. I'm seeing emails, I'm walking into places, trying to figure out who to talk to, who to get my business card to. And so with our schedule being as light as it is, and so I'd say that's the biggest challenge right now is just finding work and keeping my guys busy. I got to pay these guys. I don't want them to leave. Generally, I'm paying them anywhere from 4 to 5 hours a day. And so finding ways to get these guys 25 to 30 hours is like my goal. I'm hoping, because I set expectations on the front end, telling these guys that, hey, we're a brand new business. I'm going to try to keep you busy. I'm going to try to keep you doing things. I'm trying to keep creative. I've had them do door hangers. I've had them go like business to business and strip malls, asking if we can clean windows. Lots of training. I'm trying to set up free cleanings even for folks, and keep these guys busy. Anything I need, like I've spent full days targeting, 300 houses and then writing them handwritten letters and putting in a 10% off coupon, and then had the guys spend the day stuffing those envelopes and then sending them all out. So I'm trying to get creative with things to keep them busy, but I'm also trying to make sure that the things that we are doing are sales specific and revenue generating. That's where it has to happen. And so marketing, lead gen, kind of top of the funnel things, build awareness, get our name out there are the things that I'm focusing on. And so I think with that, for us, like I'm kind of starting to dial in some standard operating procedures that are going to be implemented. Or I see our guys do jobs, folks, like there needs to be these standard operating procedures that I can follow and that they can follow. Dialing in our pricing, our marketing plans, but I think we're going to start hopefully seeing some of these things pay off. I'm getting more leads in, whether it be through one of our partner vendors like Angie, or even just our call center. I'm seeing more of that. And I think the really cool thing that happened to me this week is that like some of these networking opportunities or some of these networking groups that I've joined, like some of those are starting to pay off to me. So yeah, it just turns out that if you get out there and you talk and you hand people your business card and you tell them what you do and you ask how you can be helpful, that goes a long way. And it's something that I think is going to come back to us. And it's crazy because like some of this I've done last week or even the week before, we're already starting to feel, or I'm starting to feel some of that momentum. Like here, I'm getting my business card out there. I'm talking. That's half the challenge right there. If you can just continue, if I can just continue to do this, then I think that part's really going to pay off for me. Yeah, I think next week for me, I'm going to be really focused on getting some of these estimates out. I'm just going to be focused every week on spending 2 to 3 hours a day being commercial sales with a commercial sales focus. Like that's what I need to be focused on. I need to drive business through commercial sales. I think residential will happen. I think commercial, I have to go make happen. And so there's a lot of good things that come with commercial and post-construction cleanup is I think going to be one of the things that I'm really going to try to target. I think it's this nice niche. And so if I can just get in with some folks like that, some construction companies, managers, things like that, that'd be huge for me. So I've seen the value there. I need to go out and find it. And so that's what next week my focus is going to be on. So come back next week. I'll tell you how many construction sites I walked onto, how successful that was. How many business cards I hand out, how many new leads I got. And what I really like to do is kind of dive into what I think maybe would be really insightful, which would be the financials of everything. And so, as I get further along into this, maybe week 4, we go into my QuickBooks and look at, my budget, what I've spent, my total investment so far, because I think that's like really what people want to see. And I think the unique thing that we have going here is that I'm in it real. Again, I started this and want to do this for myself so I can go back and look into it, because I think most of the information you find out there is from somebody who's already done it and is looking back on the experience and not just fully in it right now. And I think when you're in it, it means something different. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Excited to come back and kind of report what happened next week. I submitted our biggest bid today for a post-construction cleanup. I'm gotta find out. So anyways, I guess that's about it.